Can you leave it up to ChatGPT to create your manual test cases for you? Let's explore this more on this episode of Journey to Tech with Courage. Hey guys, thanks for joining me on another episode of Journey to Tech with Courage. As I just mentioned, we are going to be exploring creating test cases in ChatGPT. We're going to do two scenarios. One, where we create test cases for a test case template, and two, feeding it with the requirements and asking it to create test cases for us. So let's dive straight in.
Alright, let's begin. Create a test case template. Let's see how it does. Okay. Let's see here. Pretty detailed. Good so far. It has a test case ID, the title, the description, preconditions, very good, test steps, very good, and the expected results and actual results. This is good. Pass fail whether or not the test case passed. Notes, test data, test environment, the test case author and date. This is pretty detailed. I'd say I'm impressed so far. I just want this in a tabular format. Let's see if ChatGPT can do that. Great. Okay, let's see. Okay, pretty good as well. It put this in a very nice format that you can use. Let's say we would want to add 3 rows for starters. Add 3 rows to the test case. Oh, I like it. I definitely like that. It added 3 rows and it gave you some sample examples. This can be useful for a beginner, in my opinion. You have all the columns that are necessary for a test case, but also you have some samples that can show a beginner how to construct his or her test case. Very good. One thing though, can it export it to Excel, for example? Can you export this to Excel? Let's see. Okay, well, that's a limitation of it, but I did not expect it to do it anyway. But what I'm seeing so far is pretty good. It provided the test cases in 1 row. It provided the necessary columns for test cases, and also when I asked it to add 3 rows, it provided some sample test scenarios that you can use to fill out your test cases. These sample scenarios can help a beginner if they are not sure how to create a test case, so you can see how one is done. The only thing I would say is that make sure that the test cases are up to your team standard, because if it is not necessarily up to your team standard, you would not just want to copy this just like that and use it. Yeah, so that's good. Create test cases for this user story. The example I'm going to use is a user story that speaks to an online shopping experience. We are all familiar with that. So the test case, or rather, the user story is as follows. As a customer, I want to track my order so that I can know when to expect delivery. Let's see what ChatGPT comes up with. It presented us 5 test cases. Let us take a look. Let's look at the high-level scenarios. View order tracking page, where it says verify that the customer can access the order tracking page. Verify that the customer can check the status of their order. Verify that they can check expected delivery. Real-time order updates. Mobile responsiveness. Verify that the order tracking functionality is responsive. And yeah, okay, pretty good scenarios so far. Let's look at, let's say, number 1 in detail. Has a description, the test steps. Okay, you log in, and it also has the expected results there. That's pretty good. And then from there, of course, you use it so that you can test it and then you report your actual results. Check the order status. I like the fact that it takes into account logging in, going to the order tracking page, enter the order number, etc. Pretty good. What else? Let's look at the mobile responsiveness. And it speaks to logging into a mobile device. The order tracking page is accessible and displays properly on the mobile screen. And then you can get the same information. I like the fact that it also takes that into account, because you need to also test on different devices. But what is missing here are negative test case scenarios. Let's see if ChatGPT can give that to us. Add some negative test cases. Pretty impressive. You have some negative test cases such as invalid order number, unauthorized access, very important, no order history, and incorrect order status. Let's see what it says here. Verify that the system handles an incorrect order status. Log into the customer account. You navigate to the order tracking page. The expected result here is missing. It should be added. Manually update the order status using invalid data. That one though, that's pretty vague. What does it mean by that? You understand? If somebody was to pick this up as a new person and look at this test case, they may not understand what exactly is being verified here. And this is where you'd have to get that information from the customers you're serving, and also the user stories or requirements that you're basing your test cases off. So there you have it there. Whilst ChatGPT can give you some suggestions for test cases, you also have to understand the domain in which you're testing the system for. You have to also understand your customers' requirements so that you can more align those test cases to what they require. ChatGPT won't be able to do that for you, but it can give you some suggestions for test cases. So pretty good in terms of giving suggestions, but you as the tester will have the domain knowledge to create test cases more effectively and scenarios that reflect your customers' requirements more closely. Finally, let's see if it can put this in the nice tabular format earlier. Put these test cases in the beautiful table that you showed me initially. Let's see what it does. Okay, not bad at all. It does it in the table format. So I'll definitely give it a thumbs up for this. So it can do it. Pretty impressive. But what I would say to you, this is a good brainstorming tool for you to start creating your test cases. But do not rely on it, because you're the one who understands the requirements and what the customers want, and therefore you are the one who will still have the expertise to create these test cases. ChatGPT cannot do all of it for you.
Well folks, there you have it. As you can see, ChatGPT can generate test cases using the requirements that you feed it with. It can also generate pretty nice test case templates for you to start creating your own test cases. A word of caution though, do not just rely on ChatGPT for the scenarios that it generates. Remember, you are the tester. You know the users who use the system and you understand the requirements better. So therefore, you have to ensure that in addition to the scenarios that are generated by ChatGPT, that you come up with your own scenarios to ensure complete test coverage. As for the template, make sure that the template is up to your team's testing standards to see if there is additional information that should be included. But this is a great start if you're a beginner because it will give you an introduction to how test case templates are constructed and sample test cases that you can use to generate your own test case. So I would say it's a pretty good tool to accompany you in your test case creation job. That's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode and I hope you found it useful. If you did, please feel free to like, comment below this video and subscribe as well. Share it with your friends as much as possible. And if you have any questions, feel free to indicate in the comments below. Also, I'd like to hear from you. What other topics you would like me to address in future videos? Until then, see you soon in the next episode of Journey to Tech with Craig.